I got a question for y'all out there. How y'all doing? Everybody good? All right. I got a question for y'all. For those that meditate, are you meditating because it seems like that's the thing to be doing in a spiritual age? Uh, or are you doing it preparing for death? There's no right or wrong answer. But at some point, if you are meditating, you have to realize it's a practice for death because we do that ritual every night. You know, when you go to bed, you're practicing for death. I don't mean to sound morbid, and it probably does to some who are afraid of it. Um, that the unknown, yeah, of course, but if there's many people out here who say that there is no death and that we're eternal beings, then there shouldn't be that much fear, of it. But I realize in this conscious shit, man, people just repeat shit and don't really have any insight or their own point of view when it comes to certain shit. You know what I mean? They repeat something somebody else heard because it sounds slick, but you haven't really put any thought or emotion into what you're repeating. You know what I'm saying? You just biting, son. You biting. Yeah, I'm tired, man. I know, just like a lot of y'all out there, the last couple of weeks, man, I just been feeling ran down. The boy is tired, man. And I'm trying to catch up on the sleep, but it's like that's not all the way it. It's like feel like we're going through some kind of I hate the word shift because everybody uses it, but it's a shift, and it's like a slow motion. It's like a slow motion shift, but at the same time, events are happening faster. It seems like, and it makes it feel like one day runs into the next, and that there is no nighttime. There is no, like as soon as you close your eyes, your clock is going off, or you know what I'm saying. And it's really bad for me because I'm a night worker. Like I get off somewhat late, and then I'm up till like three in the morning. Putting in the after hours juice. So morning really comes quick to me. But I enjoy it, man. The alone time. But not really alone because you're constantly getting hit with downloads, especially this time of night, man. There's something about it. And I think what it is it's the absence of like the general population. Like a lot of motherfuckers are asleep. So there's only select energies that kind of come close or transmit at these hours. And if you can pick up on those downloads, that's why I know, like in the Quran, it would say something like it always would tell you that prayer was better than sleep. And like in the Sunnahs and all that, it would say things like, those prayers in the middle. I'm summarizing. Those prayers in the middle of the night, when everybody else is asleep, they was near and dear to Allah. There's certain, and I think that's wise because these hours right here where you abandon the comfort of your bed to, in that situation, to please God, right? Then you're rewarded with something that a lot of people are unfortunate enough to obtain because of a lack of discipline. I think that's the benefit. And if you can manage to stay disciplined on that, it's like whatever effect that you receive, right? Because if you do something in the spiritual world, there has to be an effect. There has to be a return. You know what I'm saying? It's universal law, cause and effect. So if you do something spiritually, you initiate something, there has to be a return. Now whether you notice it or not, depends on how aware you are. I've been seeing a lot of videos this week about Americans aren't ready for what's coming, prepare for this, prepare for that. But the only preparations that I see being offered is to stock up on food and water. But there's other sides to that. And if you're a spiritual teacher or messenger or something in that category out here, don't just spread the message that we should be ready. Why don't you show what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Show how you're getting ready so that people can maybe adopt, some of the things, practices that you're doing, because I have that feeling too, like, yeah, there's something coming. And I've been trying to lay out these meditations, to get your spiritual side strengthened so that you can have what it takes on the inside to weather the storm, as they say, right? And I think tomorrow I'll be putting out the second video of my series, what do I call it? Crucible scenarios. The first one was when I try to make them relevant. So the first one was, if your daughter pretty much was a zombie, came home knocking at the door, what would you do? Would you shoot her? Or would you hold off? Would you stand down? Because they're talking about all these Ebola. I heard Ebola. I heard hantavirus. And I know the zombie thing is a little extreme. It's movies, they kind of like fantasize about that kind of thing. But you would have the same response to a deadly virus as you would a zombie. You wouldn't want it near you. If somebody comes too close and it's something that's going to eat your skin alive or eat you from the inside out, and they kept lunging at you, like, yeah, you're going to get popped. You know what I mean? So I think it has the same effect. So with viruses, I think it's the equivalent to zombie apocalypse. So that's why I put that out as the video number one, because it would be hard to put down one of your own, somebody that you love, and that's why I also included like scriptural anecdotes or whatever that kind of cover that, so you get that comfort level of this is the illusion. You know what I mean? So don't feel like if you had to kill your mom or your dad or your sister or brother like that, you did something horrible. You know what I'm saying? There's something that would tie you on the inside to comfort you and you'll realize that, that energy will always be with you. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for those. And like I said, I got the tarot deck on Etsy. I think I loaded up another PDF, Cyclomancy, and The Magician by Philip Cooper. They're cheap, $2 or $3, something like that. Get a PDF download. Other than that, man, I just want y'all to stay vigilant out there. They purposely put out a lot of. I don't know if you can see my face. You got to give me a better camera, man. They purposely put out a lot of, it looked like there's action everywhere, Always something going on. This clown and his dealings over in the Middle East and now back home, he's built for entertainment. He's there to showboat, the food situation and gas prices, it's all part of the game. It's a fire horse year. Don't let it throw you off. Tilt. Keep your focus on the one thing you can control, and that's working on yourself. Because 95% of the shit that's happening, you can't do nothing about. This is like a bottom line. 90 to 95% of the shit that's happening, you can't do nothing about it. If you constantly have death on your mind, not being afraid of it, but if you're studying it and trying to understand what it actually is, and then what else is there to be afraid of? If you feel like the death is not the end, it's the beginning of something new, then what else is there to be afraid of? If they're going to drop the nuke, drop it. They're not going to do that, because they would have no place to go. If you ruin Earth, what the fuck then? Where you going to come back to? It's a scare tactic. You're not going to do that. You're not going to have EMP such and such to where there's no electricity, because that wastes the whole idea of them being able to track you with smart cities and cell phones and shit like that. You see, they need electricity for that, so it's all game. I hope this reached y'all, and hope all is well for everybody out there. But I'm gonna let y'all go. All right, I'll catch y'all again. Peace.